We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully, your day is going well. It is Friday. I want to say thanks to Eric, an old soul, for joining me yesterday on the podcast. Kind of a day off for me with those two.
Yeah, that was the odd couple. That was cool to watch. So,
And I enjoyed the day off so much, I thought, well, let's bring Will in and make it a 5 day weekend.
yeah, yeah. Who wants to do a
'Cause-
live? Who wants to do a
uh,
live? Hell,
well, yeah,
uh,
I've been planning to do it, but I got people keep wanting to come on, and in many ways, I'd rather do this only because I don't know how volatile it's going to be out there, and I don't know what they're going to do to me. I'm going to do a live here pretty soon, maybe tomorrow night, but I don't know. We'll see. Well, you and I were talking before we came on here, and there's so
right.
much fucking shit. It's hard to know where to start. I think let's start with the health conditions of this country, and RFK Jr. R
Shit.
RFK Jr. sat in front of the Senate today, and he was questioned. It didn't go well for him. He seemed a little scattered.
Well, first of all, before we talk about the skewering, I have a big bone to pick with Bill Cassidy of Louisiana.
Oh, me too.
Motherfucker, you should not even be saying anything to him about stuff because you were deciding vote that let him through. So take your hypocritical ass out of there because you brought him there and you Republicans voted for him. Now you're fucking shocked that he is literally a fucking voodoo doctor.
Yeah.
That he's like lost his. I mean, there is no science in the CDC. He called the CDC the most corrupt agency ever in the United States. What the fuck are you talking about? And it was satisfying and disgusting at the same time.
Well, it was
Um,
frustrating too to know that we're in this position. There was a lot of people who talked to him. There was Elizabeth Warren talking to him,
right.
and she called him out directly. She said, "You said you would not take away the COVID vaccine from anybody. So now you sit here and are doing just that." And he played the Donald Trump thing. No, I'm not. That's a hoax. You're lying. You're the one that has the problem trying to turn the conversation around. One guy, he said, I'm asking you a question. The guy said, no, motherfucker. I'm the senator. I'm asking you questions. Just answer. But he looked pretty flustered through that whole thing. And then you throw in his problems with his voice and the worm in the brain. It didn't go well for RFK Jr.
And then the one that I enjoyed was my senator Raphael Warnock,
Yeah.
who basically just brought up what happened in the CDC less than a month ago. You had an active shooter who killed a police officer trying to defend him. He was trying to get in there because he felt that the COVID vaccine had ruined his life, which is not true. Okay, he had long COVID. He was screwed, but he wasn't getting his treatments. But he bought into all the misinformation, and he brought that up. And RFK literally told Senator Warnock, "I don't know what you're talking about, motherfucker. There was an attack at the CDC. You're the Home Health Security Secretary. How do you not know this?" And then the thing about it is like he keeps they saying, "Do you want science?" And he goes, "I have three doctors that I listen to. One of them being Dr. Oz. They're all hacks. They're
Yeah.
all fucking quacks. They only believe in one thing: money,
Well,
money."
yeah, it's how to make money, and he was put up there, and I'm surprised he showed up because he knew he was going to get ripped apart. Generally speaking, there's a lot of things that are going wrong in this country, and I won't say this is the worst one, but it's no less than the other shit going on. This whole CDC thing and what's going on in this
Well,
country with COVID shots and measles and taking away Medicaid and Medicare.
right,
And then you brought up Florida, which is going to be
right.
just a pile of dead people's soup when it's all
It's
done.
on a quick note on the measles thing. Where Senator Warnock brought up, there's a first time deaths from measles under your watch, and he was told he's asked him, "Do you know there are people that told me you weren't aware of it?" And he still wasn't aware of it. He's like, he RFK is so, he has decided that he is God and he's going to save us all from ourselves,
Yeah.
but it ain't working. But as for Florida, that was the most heinous thing I've ever seen. That Surgeon General, what is he? Is he a doctor or is he just a political asshole? Because I have no
Uh,
idea what that is.
Basically, what's happening in Florida, so people, in case people don't know, they're taking away all vaccine mandates, meaning you don't have to take the vaccine. Now,
Mhm.
the problem with that, what people don't understand is, well, I'll still get the vaccine. Yeah, but with the mandates off, guess what? Now you have to pay for the vaccines. And if you can't
Exactly.
afford it, then you don't get the vaccines. And we're not talking about just COVID or measles. We're talking about fucking polio and all
Yes.
the whooping cough and all the other shit.
Rubella,
Yeah,
measles, mumps, and and these are all, and this comes from one study 20 years ago by this idiot from the UK who linked vaccines with autism. But later on, once he was peer reviewed, they found out he fudged his data.
right.
He lied. It was debunked for decades, but it keeps bubbling up in the Facebook world. In the Facebook world, if your child could die, yes, that is a possibility. They could have allergic reaction to it. So with everything, but the risk is so minuscule compared to the disease. And the reason it really pissed me off because I'm thinking my mom was a public health nurse for 20 years with LA County. Her job was to track communicable diseases. The majority of her job was tracking STDs because you got to find them before they start spreading it even further because
Right.
that's a health
Right.
problem. That was her job. Um, but occasionally she had to deal with measles outbreaks, mumps outbreaks, but they would stamp that quick. They would go after it. But before she got that job, my mom worked at a hospital called Barlow's. It was a small hospital near Dodger Stadium. It's no longer there. Whose only purpose was to treat polio patients that end life. What is end life? Iron lung. And if you
Right.
don't know what that is, polio paralyzes you. It paralyzes you. The FDR, polio. He recovered, but he lost the use of his legs. Polio will get to the point where you can't breathe, and you end up in something called an iron lung, which breathes for you. Your life at that end is just a head sticking off an iron tube. And she dealt with that. And this is what these motherfuckers in Florida want to bring back to the United States.
Mitch
Something
McConnell
that,
had it. Mitch McConnell had polio. I
right.
mean, what the fuck? You don't know
And
what's going on here? You're not saying anything. Your mouth is shut.
and to hear that asshole in Florida and RFK talk about vaccines as if they're some kind of um, I don't know, voodoo or whatever, they're not real. I remember when Salk came up with the polio vaccine. You
Yeah.
remember, everyone was like going crazy. It was the greatest achievement for one of the greatest things that were bothering Americans for decades. It
Right.
was a great achievement of American scientists. You probably went through what I went through. We got the polio vaccine, but that was with that gun. Do you remember that
Right.
gun?
Right.
That's what we got. They lined us all up in school. Bang. It was worth it. It's still worth it. But these idiots have decided that my body, my choice, except for abortions.
Yeah.
I mean, that motherfucker on stage almost said that because he knew he was about to fuck up. And by the way, RFK wants to get rid of Mr. Pristone again. So he's riding that fucking abortion thing also. And by the way, Mr. Pristone is not an abortion pill. It is used for treatment for women when it comes to gynecological. My wife had to take it for her last exam because they needed to 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 able to see what was going on. And that was a bitch to get. And it
Yeah.
was only caught, and I'm in Georgia, it was one pharmacy, tiny little pharmacy that would give it. But see, this is the insanity we're dealing with. And all those people cheering. Okay, cheer, cheer. Because measles will kill your kids, mumps will kill your kids, polio will kill your children. And here's the
Everybody will
other
kill
thing.
everybody.
Yeah, and if you let viruses back into the environment, the reason COVID has been constantly messing with the vaccine, they've been messing with the vaccine and adjusting it. And that's why you hear all those anti-vaxxers, yeah, well, it doesn't work. Why do they keep messing with it? It doesn't work. It doesn't work because you don't fucks didn't take it. So you let the virus get an opportunity to spread again and mutate. Now, the last version that we're not going to be able to get without jumping through hoops and paying money was designed to, well, they had broken down the actual basis for the COVID virus. And so when it popped up again, even though it mutated, it would have been fought. But no, 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 no. And the worst, did you hear that when the one senator, I think the senator from Washington, asked RFK, how many people died from COVID? Do
Didn't
you
know.
know 1 million people died from COVID? He goes, I didn't know that. You're the home health secretary. You don't know that was true. He goes, well, you're not sure they died of COVID. They died of COVID. Well, the statistics are there. Well, the Biden administration, right to Biden. The Biden administration statistics were wrong. No, they died from COVID because your boss now was ignorant.
It's real
Simple.
easy to rationalize this out right now. During COVID, 1 million people died. We don't have a big problem with COVID now, and 1 million people aren't dying. How much simpler can it fucking be? Did those people, 1 million people, die for some other coincidental reason during COVID without, the whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. And like I say, when I sit and watch RFK Jr., it's almost like a comedy. It's almost laughable. But the sad thing is, it's going to kill a lot of people, not just from COVID, but from polio, from measles, from all this stuff. Here's what, if Florida is applauding taking all vaccine mandates off in Florida, I think the only option is that nobody, if you value your health, don't go to Florida under any
No.
circumstance. Don't fucking go there.
Yeah, Florida's now a disease petri dish. And
Yeah.
here's the thing, no one's going to Florida anyway. Tourism is down. They don't hear about it because Ronnie is
Yeah.
busy doing, you know, removing crosswalks, rainbow crosswalks to make a point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, what's your point, dude? You're not going to be president. You're never going to be president. You know why? Because no one likes you.
And you're
No
done
one
being
will
governor
ever
because you
like
can't
you.
run again.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we don't like you. You never will be liked, ever. But again, Republicans need something to hate. In my state, apparently, Governor Kemp has decided to let the National Guard work with ICE because there's going to be a push. Good luck with that. How that works with farming in cities. And by the way, that means I ain't stepping foot out of this house. Fuck. I don't know. That's scary for me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and then, but to hear, to watch those people cheer that man just saying that that vaccines were slavery, motherfucker. What? That is not even an analogy. And
I'm 65 years old, and from the time I was born to now, I've literally gotten vaccines every year for various things. I am healthy and fine. You've gotten vaccines. You're healthy and fine.
yeah,
Where's the data that shows that it's working against us? He always says, well, I need to see the data. I don't see the data. Well, you're director of Health and Human Services. If you can't see the data, there must not be any data, but we know there's data. You just
yes,
don't like hearing data that is contrary to what you believe, which is fucking nuts.
and it's decades of data,
Yeah.
decades of data. This is just him. I don't know what drove RFK to this. It's got to be his addled brain. And you talk about not letting people have antidepressants. He went on Fox News and said the person that killed, who committed the crime in Minnesota, that's because they were on antidepressants. And when the senator called him out, he goes, "No, you made that up. You said it on TV, dude." I mean, that's the thing. I watched that man squirm, and I watched that man lie, and I'm surprised someone didn't just say, you're talking to Congress under oath, right? The penalties for lying, right? I mean,
Well,
and
clearly he
that's
doesn't care because he lied when he was
no.
being confirmed. And now
And
he's
here's the
doing
thing:
something different. He doesn't
so
care
did
if
the
he
Supreme
lies.
Court justices who said they wouldn't touch Roe v. Wade, but here
Yeah.
we are. Okay,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. He is, of all the shit. RFK Jr. is literally the epitome of every cabinet member in Trump's new administration or new
Oh,
regime.
they're all
They're all
comparably
incompetent.
incompetent. They're all incompetent.
And
They're just fucking goofballs. And the Defense Department with Hegseth in charge,
oh,
there's a rift within the Defense Department because they know he's fucking nuts. That he's not very good.
well, he's not very good because he's a TV guy. He doesn't know what's going on. It's
No.
all an act. It's all performative, but it doesn't govern. They don't manage. They can't manage. They never managed anything in their lives because there haven't been consequences. They've gotten away with it. The majority
Right.
because they're rich white guys and they got away with it.
Right.
But I mean, I'm just flabbergasted of the incompetence and the people who encourage the incompetence, who are cool with the incompetence. But it's hurting everything. You're talking about the military. The American military is a joke now. We were,
Really is.
we were before Trump took over the premier fighting force. They did not want to fuck with us. Honestly, they didn't. When the Iranians fired all those missiles the first time, we took them all out from the Red Sea for Israel. We were competent. Our fighting force was good. Trump is a fucking liar. Okay, you went in there and ripped out all the people that were competent who won't kiss your ass, and now all you got is incompetent ass kissers, and that's
Yeah.
why the military is looking weak. And your idea of drug interdiction is blowing up a fishing boat off the coast of Venezuela with 11 people and saying that we knew you didn't know what was on there. You could have sent out a boat from one of the aircraft carriers, just an inflatable boat with Marines and boarded it and searched it and found out yes or nay. No, you have to make a big show of it at the cost of 11 people's lives. I mean,
The
what the
thing, the
fuck?
thing, the thing about it is it when you do something like this is not something under the purview of the DOJ or anything in America. This is outside of America. Isn't this potentially an international incident, as they say? I mean, aren't there going to be some other countries troubled by this action? Because you don't know if he's going to do it off the shore of Portugal or off the shore of Spain or whatever you do. It's just it just makes no sense. And there's got to be some heat given for this because this is unprecedented. It's highly illegal, and not just with American law, but international law.
I mean, our allies have said that's bad, but what are you going to do? Because they ignore it. You saw Hesketh; he was celebrating it. He's a fucking
Yeah.
idiot. I mean, and it's just, and they did it because what I mentioned is if you're going to do this, then you could stop it, search it, and then see if there's drugs. There are drugs on it. Then you can go look what we found. Explain it. You have evidence if you're going to do it. But that's the hard way. No, it's not the flashy way. Okay, we want to make a big impression. So we kill 11 Venezuelans. Who the fuck cares? But it looks good on TV, right?
Well, according to
That's
them.
what
But
we
here's the
do.
thing: we talk about waste of money all the time. Did we
Yes.
really need a fucking missile to blow up a fishing boat? I don't think so.
No, I mean,
Drop a grenade or something. A fucking. It's just
no,
the whole thing was silly, and it was all about again trying to distract, because I think it all kind of goes back to the Epstein thing. I think Donald Trump is really fucking spinning on this one
Oh
because
God,
everything he tries doesn't work, and he
it's
doesn't know
getting
what to
worse.
do with the situation. It is getting a lot worse, and it's
Yeah, because
they continue to try to push to get these this evidence released. They said, well, we did release evidence. Well, you released
no, he didn't.
about 2% of the evidence, and of that, only 2% was actually new information. So you didn't release anything. You're trying to gaslight or hoodwink
And
people. But,
the reason that
but
I'm hearing is that someone got caught on a hot mic. Is that before we release it, we gotta make sure we redact every Republican name. So they're
yeah,
already covering up, so they can blame Democrats. See, it's all Democrats. All these fucking pedophiles are Democrats.
here's
Like,
the thing
no,
though. They're so stupid. They constantly step on their own dick. So the guy's on a hot mic, and he's the deputy chief, acting deputy chief of the DOJ. So he's high up there. I saw the video. He's a fucking Trump humping piece of shit. He's the kind of guy you would laugh at in a bar. But he's the deputy chief, and he says that he said a few things. He said um, we're going to redact all the Republicans from the Epstein files and leave in the Democrats so the Republicans don't get in trouble. And then he went on to say that Ghislaine Maxwell was moved to the new, easier place to keep her mouth shut. I mean, talk about saying the quiet parts out loud. And now he's trying to walk it back and say, well, I didn't mean that. No, bitch, you said exactly that. And that isn't really surprising to anybody that Donald Trump or the Republicans would try to game the situation with these files. But let me ask you this. If you've got the files to release and they tell us it's 300 gigs of evidence, 300 gigs of evidence,
so
how the fuck are you going to redact every document on there? You can't do it. There is no time. It would be 2 years from now before you got it done. So it's great to say that, and you may try to do that. And even when you do redact it and we get all this information and we got these black lines in it with things redacted, do you think the Trumplafucks and everybody else is going to be happy? They aren't going to have questions? Of course they are.
and the thing, and the cover up started because the victims showed up. Okay,
Right.
they didn't really.
Right.
Let's be honest. They didn't count on the victims. They didn't count on the victims. They really didn't. Um, they didn't think the women would show up, or basically would have the bravery to do it. Well, they did. And instead of the House Oversight Committee having a public hearing so we could hear all the atrocities, they had a closed door hearing.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm like, why? What are you afraid of? Well, Nancy Mace came rolling out of there crying, and all of a sudden she was on their side, but the next day she got a phone call, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
she was nowhere to be seen when they had to press her the next day because she knows what side her bread is buttered on. And that press conference, first of all, how much does it cost to drop two B-2s over a no-fly zone to fly over? That's a lot of fucking money and gas.
What
And you're
he's getting
telling us
at.
that in a no-fly zone, you're telling us, oh yeah, that was planned. Fuck you.
Yeah. So what Will's talking about is during the press conference, one of the survivors was talking, and there was a military flyover over the top of it. And obviously, it drowned out some noise. And I don't think that could have been the intent. I think it probably had something to do with intimidation or something. But how fucking petty and how desperate and how stupid can you be? So afraid that these people are going to say something, and you send these military jets over the top to send a message. It's just, it's so
I
fucking
mean,
fourth grade. I can't believe
yeah,
it.
and the victims, what it did was piss them off because
Yeah.
now they're saying we can come up with names already. We have names. Rufus R. Peter Thiels is on that list too.
Oh, yeah.
OP is on that list. There are a lot of rich people. There is, I think, Robert Massey, who is the only true Republican fighting for these people. I don't
Right.
believe Marjorie Taylor Greene because I don't know. No, that's a scorpion. You ain't getting on my back. if you know the fable. I don't trust you. But Massey is saying is that all of a sudden, because he is trying to push for that discharge bill, because they try to put a bill on the floor to make the House vote on releasing all the Epstein files, not
Right.
redacted, everything out. Mark Johnson, Trump's favorite butt boy, isn't put it to the floor, but you can get around it with a
Right.
um, discharge resolution, basically saying forcing him to bring it to the floor in a vote, and they could get a majority. But now the White House first started pushing on Republicans to do that means you're basically declaring war on the president. That's the way they put it.
Essentially.
And then Massey has reported that in South Carolina, in his district, someone bought $5 million of ads running against him about that. $5 million just popped out of nowhere. Gee,
Really.
okay.
Well,
There are some very rich people who are fucking pissing their pants right now with the victims.
they're getting
Very
called out
rich.
here. What's interesting about it, they're going to try to stop the evidence from being released. And I'm convinced that as long as Donald Trump's there, it probably won't get released. But then, as you said, one of the survivors said, well, all of us know who's on the list. We can make the list. And then people will say, well, you know, if they release the list, all these rich people will sue them and they'll sue them into poverty and all that stuff. And I said, first and foremost, it's not like these people aren't going to get representation if they get sued. This
Oh
is
yeah.
this is high profile. Any any number of lawyers will step up and say, "I'll do it pro bono just for the publicity." I guarantee you that. But even more importantly than that, Marjorie Taylor Greene was the first one to say, uh, "Give me the list and I'll do it on the floor." Now, whether you can trust her or not, I
Massey
don't
said
know.
the same.
Tom Massey said the same thing. You give me the list and I'll say the names on the floor. I don't give a fuck. And why that's important is there's a law that nobody on the floor of the House can be sued for anything they say. Nothing. So it's a
Mhm.
safe bet. The victims or the survivors give Marjorie and Tom Massey the names. They read them, and there's nothing these rich people can do. That would be the
Uh,
way to do it. Fuck the evidence. Let's just blow it up.
and I don't. Would they be brave enough to give? Would you trust them to give them the names, and would you trust them to do it? I don't know. Those are big fat questions,
Well, I
especially with
trust the
North Korea.
survivors. I
No, I
trust the
mean the survivors.
survivors.
I meant the survivors trusting those people, and not to give them information that they may hide later. Although they would have the information again. It's hard to trust Republicans because they're so self-protective. I mean, right now they're gone into protective mode. The media, the right-wing media, is trying to spin all these victims uh, as money hungry, as random. Did you see that video of that lady on TikTok who got fucking rolled? She basically came on and called all those victims, and British John jumped on her quick. All the victims are random. They're lying, all that. A bunch of bullshit. She got raped. It had to
Yeah.
take her video down and put up another video whining about it. Bitch, you knew that was going to happen because she literally didn't believe the victims. They don't believe the
Well,
victims.
that's the
Because
ironic
she,
thing. Donald Trump has 30 victims that claimed he sexually assaulted them. There are victims from Jeffrey Epstein. Why is it that nobody on the right believes any women at all? No women. They don't believe women at all. They don't believe them with regards to abortion. They don't believe them in regards to sexual assault. And that's got to say something to the people in this country. It can't be that everybody's lying. The whole world
yeah,
is wrong and Republicans are right. That just logic and odds just don't prove that out. And I think that when you look at Donald Trump and the Republicans now, you're seeing them in a different state where they were normally able to control the narrative and bullshit their way out with no shame at all. But they are kind of spinning around like tops now. Donald Trump is freaking out about this. whether
Yes.
it's about him trying to save himself or save his friends. Who knows? You know, well, some of these rich friends said, Donnie, if you let this shit get out, we're coming for you. I mean, it's to that
Right.
level where people probably wouldn't think twice about eliminating people just to save themselves from the embarrassment.
But see, they're playing the old classics. When Trump was pressed on it, why does the White House look like a fucking throne room from the 1890s?
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? Sorry,
It's
side
pretty
note, because
tacky.
yeah, it's just ridiculous. And then to top all that off, he was talking with the Polish president, who was a Trump, kind of a Trump-like figure, that
Yeah.
piece of shit. Um, and they asked him about Epstein, and what's his response? It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal, and it's all a Democratic hoax. Oh, really? Didn't you fucking run a campaign on that?
Basically, yeah.
All in order. Um, and now it doesn't matter, and it's a Democratic hoax.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, here we go. I mean, that's what they want you to buy. That's their story, and they're sticking to it.
Where,
And
where
you can
Donald Trump
see. Go ahead. Sorry.
where Donald Trump and the Republicans have the problem now. It's been at one point when you have a survivor come up here, a survivor come up here, and make their claims, and they can just dismiss them or disregard them. But now we've got them all coming together. We've got them all coming together, and we've got members of Congress getting behind them. And now the people are hearing the stories and they're going, "Holy fuck! I had no idea." You and I had every idea, but a lot of people don't pay attention. So this snowball is rolling down the hill and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's
There,
getting to the point where they can't control it.
I mean, there was a trial for one of the perpetrators. They arrested the one, he himself,
Hmm.
supposedly.
Supposedly.
But she was tried with the testimony of these women who laid it out again. Ghislaine Maxwell is a fucking evil bitch.
Oh, no
And
question.
that's simple as that. She was absolutely a horrible human being who literally did this for money and enjoyment of herself. She got off on it. I'm sorry, that's the truth. If you don't like what I just said, it's the truth.
Well,
And they laid it out again during the press conference, but they have the gall to protect her, and there's still talk about pardoning her. Okay.
I don't think that'll happen. There's no value in pardoning her at this point. Donald Trump can't gain anything other than ill will. I don't think they'll pardon her. They gave her what she wanted. She got a better place, and she basically said Donald Trump wasn't involved. I can't see how they would get much out of her. Her credibility is shot. I mean, it was shot in the first place, but people tried to rebuild her, and now it's shot. I don't. They can talk about pardoning her, and if Donald Trump is dumb enough to do it, go ahead, because she won't last 20 minutes outside the
Oh,
jail cell, and it won't work for Donald Trump.
they blew her up at the press conference. So
Yeah,
there's no way. They blew that up because it's the truth. And it's documented stuff in her trial.
right.
And that's the thing that one lady I was telling you about said, where did they come from? Where did they come from? They testified at her trial. They put Ghislaine Maxwell away for years. They would
Yeah,
have done the same with Jeffrey Epstein. More likely, he was about to roll on people to save his ass. That's why he ended up shuffling off this mortal coil. But the point is, you Trump is getting hoisted on his own petard, and the Republicans behind him too. You fucking pushed it. You sold it. Now you're not paying off in it, and you're blaming someone else for something you sold. And here's the
right.
thing: even your dummies aren't buying it, and they're dumb, really
They are
dumb.
dumb. They are dumb.
Because they still think that they're going to own the libs with it. No, no. If that was true, we would have seen that on January 22nd of this year. I mean,
Well, and
that's far right.
be, to be perfectly honest with you, if everybody on that list was a Democrat, I'd still want to see it.
Oh, I know.
And and if all Democrats are on that list or on that evidence, explain to me why Donald Trump is so desperate for you not to see it. Makes no sense.
No.
You got to try to explain that. And if you talk to a Trump fucking ask them that, they got no answer. They don't know.
And that's why Trump feeds them, I'm making DC crime free. I'm going to save Chicago from itself. Okay. They need some other talking points. ICE is going after all the bad guys in September. By the way, September is Hispanic Heritage Month.
Right.
In Chicago, they have a big celebration of Mexican Independence Day. And September is the day that ICE is going to show up everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, and it's not, they're not going to show up for criminals. They're going to show up in restaurants, festivals, parks, museums. They're going to look for everyone who is brown, who doesn't speak English or has an accent, like they did in Los Angeles. And they're going to just basically take them away without due process. And
What do you
that's
think
what,
is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen when they go into Chicago? Because it's a much different situation than DC, because they have a governor that's strong, they have a mayor that's strong. I presume they're going to bring National Guard from other states. Um,
Texas.
it's got to be
South
a different
Canadian adult.
situation. I
I
mean,
don't know because, listen,
Chicago people don't take a lot of shit. I'm
no,
afraid there's going to be some pretty heavy pushback there.
right? And, JB Pritzker is saying don't even throw a sandwich on them, give them an excuse. But
Yeah.
JB, I don't know how much Chicago's going to take
Yeah.
because these people are basically, these agents are not federal agents. They're all white supremacists.
Right.
They're all white supremacists. Let's be honest. We've seen the pictures of these people. They're not physically fit to do this. They're not. They're all fucking white supremacists looking to get their nut off. Have you heard anything about the militias and all that anymore? We used to hear about them
No.
all the time. You know why we don't hear about them? Because they're not working for the federal government. They
Right.
all got
Right.
vents, especially if they don't fit them. Oh
How
God.
how long are the National Guard going to continue doing this? Because people don't understand the National Guard isn't a full-time job. It's a part-time job. You're there twice a month, maybe go to some meetings, you get paid a little bit money, you get a few benefits. And when they call you up, they put you in action. They take you away from your job, which you could end up losing. They take you away from your family, which is detrimental in many ways. Um, and then I hear Donald Trump is trying to play some game with paying them. The rule is they got to be there 30 days and then they get paid and get their benefits. But
Yeah.
some people are suggesting he's pulling them out of 29 days so he doesn't have to pay them. I mean, how long are these people going to disrupt their lives, not get paid, to do absolutely nothing but pick up fucking garbage? Eventually, they've got to start pushing back. I mean, I'm not going to lose my job for some dumbass thing that Donald Trump wants to do.
Well, he has a 30-day window under the Home Rule Act. Then he's have to
Yeah.
go to Congress, ask for more time. He may get that through the House. He ain't fucking getting it through the Senate. They'll filibuster that. That ain't gonna happen. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to pull out on the 30-day mark. As for the 29-day mark, it's not that they get their pay; it's just that they can't get their bonus for deployment. That's what they're supposed to get. So they're trying to prevent
Okay.
that. I don't. We can't trust the courts right now. I know in California they ruled that what he did was illegal, but they didn't do an injunction.
Most courts
Uh,
we can trust on the lower level. It's the Supreme Court that's up for grabs.
well, yeah, because like today, Trump's gone to the Supreme Court to fire the governor because an appellate court says you don't have the power to do it.
Well, he's going to the
So
Supreme Court for the tariffs too.
yeah, for the tariffs too. So now the Supreme Court, who already ruled he couldn't touch the Fed govs, I'm curious what they're going to do because I don't know. I mean, again, Supreme Court is all to the Constitution or Trump. I don't know. I mean,
Well,
Amy Coney. Go
the
ahead.
thing
Sorry.
with the thing with the Fed, it's not just hurting people at that point. If you fuck with the Fed, it can fuck with the entire economy, and a lot of wealthy people are going to be hit too. So they may be forced to be in a situation where they push back on that. The tariffs, the same thing. The appellate court knocked it down, said the tariffs, vast majority of the tariffs were unconstitutional. So he immediately takes it to the Supreme Court. And you know he's nervous about this because he starts ranting and raving. If we take away the tariffs, the country's going to crash and burn. The economy's going to be done, all this sort of stuff. He's trying to message or send a signal to the Supreme Court like, you better fucking do this. But everybody knows he's wrong. So
Yeah,
is the Supreme Court willing to go against all the wealthy benefactors that they have that pay them ridiculous amounts of money just so Donald Trump can be right? I don't know. Um, Under normal circumstances, I could answer it unequivocally, but I can't now because they make some horrible decisions. They don't think
yeah.
about it.
Even the argument they have for the president firing the president, that gov is bullshit argument. It's a bullshit
Yes.
argument.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so, and again, you mess with the independent money, that could really just totally throw everything off, crash an
Yeah.
economy and all that. It's not good, especially when you're losing jobs, especially the new July report is coming out, and it's not looking good, brother. It's not looking good. You can't fudge these. The raw data is already out. He's fucked. 53,000 jobs in July,
Yeah.
which is suspect of an expected 113,000. They did a comparison of the 2 July years in the Biden administration, total 465,000 jobs. They never were under 100,000 jobs
Right.
during the
No, there
during the
never
Biden
was.
years, and it was
Well,
building up. Go ahead.
they're saying this is the lowest it's been in since the early 2000s.
Right, and he broke the economy because tariffs are people getting laid off because tariffs. Farmers are about to hit the wall.
Yeah.
Arkansas, Missouri, Nebraska, they're totally and absolutely fucked because they're getting pushed out. Because the problem is the tariffs are when you put a higher price in something, and you can't just say a brand name. Well, let's talk about it real quick. Marketing sometimes makes a brand name. Okay, you will go pay $10,000 for a Rolex because that's a
Right.
brand name.
Right.
That's a status thing. So they don't worry about price. You get what you get, right? But the
Right.
majority of us, we're looking for a product. Like I got my refrigerator replaced. We went shopping and we found something that fit our budget. We got discounts. We looked at several. I took the one that fit our budget. I did not take the one with all the bells and whistles for $3,000 in the corner because I didn't
Right.
fit my needs and it was too fucking expensive.
Right.
So that's the thing what's going on with tariffs and people don't understand it. Trump Trump is not bringing business back to the United States. He's bringing business to other countries because they look at this is the American price with the tariff. This is what the Chinese are offering us. This is what the Australians are offering. Oh, okay, we'll take one that's cheaper. And when it comes to agricultural goods, fuck yes. Because if you're a soybean farmer, you're fucked. You're totally absolutely fucked. Because no one's buying your product because the majority of your product went overseas and the Chinese don't want to deal with it, mostly to fuck with Trump, and also they can get it cheaper from Brazil.
Well, and as I understood it, Nebraska had a contract with Russia for soybeans or some product. $2 billion was the deal, and now that deal's completely gone.
And they got
Then you
pissed
then
off
you
because USID,
you got
USAID,
USID.
yeah, USAID. Because again, you're dealing with lies that Fox News has fed everyone for decades. Okay,
Yeah.
when they said foreign aid, we are not giving them cash. Okay, except for the Israelis apparently, but we're not really giving them cash. Okay, USAID dealt with
Right.
food. Okay, and where do we get this food? From us.
Right.
And those were contracts. That's money to a farmer. We were spending money not to those foreign people, but at home. You dumb, stupid, redneck motherfuckers. And that includes the farmers who voted for Trump.
Yeah.
Now you're finding out that money is gone and there's nothing to replace it. You can't do anything. And don't. And I heard someone say, "Well, they'll plant something else." Yeah, but shit kind of takes time to grow, and you got to get a contract to buy that. And what are you going to change? You know how it's you don't just change from soybeans to corn or something else. Soil has to be prepped. It's a different world. But
And so
the
what if you do?
ignorance.
So
Good.
what if you
Again,
do? I mean, we got tariffs with every country. Doesn't matter what
exactly.
you sell. Doesn't matter what you sell. You could sell corn, you could sell wheat, and it's got tariffs on it too. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to
And
devastate farmers, and we're already seeing those farmers
right.
devastated. And I wish I had just a little bit of empathy, but I don't. If you
No.
voted for Donald Trump and your life is ruined, you fucked around and found
I,
out. You did this to
there
yourself.
was
Any help that I would give you should be looked at as socialism or welfare, and we know how you
exactly
like that.
pull you up by your bootstraps. And what you said about people who want Medicaid or need help with SNAP, go
Yeah.
fuck yourself now. Go try to find those now. Oh, that's right. They don't exist. You fucked yourself. You know, there's a video creator named Luke, and he just yells and screams and uses the F word because you've probably seen him as a young guy, but
Not
he
the
makes
F
serious.
word.
Oh,
Are you fucking kidding? He uses the F word?
oh my God, he knows how to conjugate it better than both of us. I'm impressed. But the thing about it is, he made a comment. He did a video about now people are coming back to the light and realizing Trump fucked them.
A little
Okay,
late.
a little late, and they're asking for forgiveness. And basically, he told them to go fuck themselves. And in his video, my comment was I'm never going to forgive him. Why? Because you broke this country for your hate. The only reason you voted for Trump is because he gave you your hate of people of color, things you don't understand, fed your stupidity. Okay. Now, since the wheel is turning over on you called karma, now you're realizing you got conned and he's picking your pocket. But I had one comment in there. A commentator goes, um, those, he goes, those who do not, those who do not forgive the deceived serve the deceiver. No, bitch. No.
Well, here's the deal though. Even if I wanted to forgive you and save you, I can't. I got to save my fucking self and my own
Right.
family. Once I save myself and my own family, then I can look at maybe helping
No.
somebody else. But this is all about us, and this is how what Republicans do. It's all about
Right.
them. It's all about their little circle. So that's what we're going to
Now,
do. The farmers can pull the bootstraps up.
right. And now you're getting fucked. Now you're finding out he conned you. Okay. And you're looking for us to help you. Let me put it this way. You people who voted for Trump and Republican voters, you people are the small town German villages outside concentration camps who later, when asked what happened, you said, we had no idea what was going on and we didn't know where that smoke was coming from.
Right.
You lying sacks of shit. One of my favorite episodes of Band and Brothers is when they make the town go into that concentration camp and bury their victims. And they still, through the 70s and 80s, they denied it until that generation pretty much popped off.
Well, there's still
Because,
people that deny it. Still, Holocaust deniers, and it's
but
absolutely ridiculous.
they don't want to take their responsibility in it. And for you to come to us for forgiveness, you're still not taking your responsibility for it.
Right.
We warned you, we told you, we showed the facts, but you wanted to own the libs, get rid of the Mexicans, get rid of this crime, basically saying black people. We wanted that, and he gave us simple answers, saying that he's going to lower the prices of everything on day one. Now you got nothing, and you're
Right.
suffering with the rest of us, and you want us to feel bad for you? Fuck you. Fuck you to the day you die, your children and your children's children, because you brought this on all of us with your lack of vision. So, yeah,
You
is
know,
that harsh? Fuck yeah. Will I
the
have to
thing about
answer
it
for it
is,
later? Probably not, because most people up there probably go, yeah, they're right. Forgiveness is not my
it
job,
would be
guys.
easier to forgive them if they just did it to themselves. If they fucked up, they
Right.
made a mistake, they were stupid, and they hurt themselves. The problem is they hurt a lot of innocent people that knew better that didn't vote for Donald Trump. So they're not only responsible for their own demise, but they're responsible for the pain and suffering of innocent people that didn't do anything wrong. And so this is why I hate you. It's not
Right.
that you made a mistake or were fooled by Donald Trump. It's that you knowingly, willingly, and intentionally tried to hurt other people. So now that
And
you're
they
getting hurt, why should I
celebrate it.
feel sorry for you?
And they celebrate it. A
Yeah,
lot of them still celebrate that. They still celebrate ICE. They still celebrate a lot of stuff. You celebrate pain and suffering.
right.
You have no empathy. The only because you have no feelings, no compassion or anything. The only thing you feel is hate. You get joy in watching other people suffer. That is sick behavior. And you want me to forgive you for that behavior? Get stuffed. I'm
No,
cruel.
it's not
Fuck it.
worth it. It's not
No.
worth because as I've said before, people say, why can't you forgive them? Because I can't
Right.
trust them. I can't trust them to do the right thing in the future. They did the wrong thing intentionally. Now you're sorry and you want a hug and you want all that stuff, that's fine. But what happens when the next clown comes along on a train and you want to jump on board and start this shit over? If I help you and if I feel sorry for you and forgive you, I may just be setting myself up to be taken down again. So fuck that. I'm
Yeah.
sorry if it seems cold, but that's the way you got to do it.
And the consequences are coming for Republicans. I mean, the town halls aren't looking good. I mean,
No,
a lot
they
of them
aren't
are
good.
running away. They're not looking good. Special elections are not looking good. They're getting a little touchy, but they still hang on to their MAGA thinking it's going to work. I heard a report that Madison Cawthorn is back. He's moved to Florida. He's going to run for Congress again. Yeah, brother, that ain't going to work.
At
Dream
least
on.
Madison, at least Madison Cawthorn doesn't have to worry about polio. He's already
True,
a
true.
paraplegic.
Although I did, like a couple of years ago, they had an outbreak of leprosy.
I
I'm not
understand
kidding.
that. Yeah.
In Florida, I mean, holy hell.
Well,
It's just,
you people are so tied to the Bible and living by the Bible, it seems only fair that we would get biblical diseases that you're going to have to
and
suffer through.
there's the consequences are coming. I mean, Greg Abbott, look, Texas. I kept hearing all years about independence, secession. Texas is their own state. No one runs Texas. Then why is your governor the biggest fucking Trump lackey ever? Yes, Mr. Trump, whatever you want. Yes, sir. No, sir. 5 days
Yeah.
long, sir. What do you want from me? That's Texas?
Yeah. Sounds like
Yeah,
a bunch of
no.
pussies to me.
Yeah, I mean, and he's sending the Texas National Guard to Chicago. Whatever. I mean, whatever. I mean, it just see that's the thing. They Trump has them so enamored. They think it's still going to benefit them, but even though it's falling apart, but in essence, all this shit that's happening shows us that we're pushing the right buttons.
Right. Absolutely.
Uh, I mean, did you? I mean, we keep talking about Epstein. We talk and push that. What we saw with RFK, that ain't looking good. I don't care what Carol Levitt says. She can't spin that motherfucker for RFK.
No,
You can't
no.
spin this. You're not going to be able to spin the job numbers. You can't spin what comes out a lot of these people's mouths. Do you know one of the temporary? I saw this video and I couldn't believe it was real. One of the temporary CDC or DHS people who they replaced, they shoved in, literally said in a speech, "Why can't people sell their organs to the highest bidder? Because people are dying because they don't have transplants." I saw that movie. It was called Coma in 1978. Look it up. Michael Douglas, Genevieve Bujold, about a hospital that was killing their patients and then selling their organs on the black market to the highest bidder. Okay. I listened to that. I watched it. I'm going, does this guy really think? He literally said, why don't we let the market drive it? What? And that's insane. That's crazy. I can't even write that in the scene without an editor going, are you out of your fucking mind? That can't be
How
real, but
how do
it's real.
you how do you support overturning Roe v. Wade, but also support people selling their own organs? It makes no fucking sense.
Oh, his thing saying there are people walking around with spare kidneys.
Oh,
Dude, you need two kidneys to function. You take a kidney out there, you won't have problems. When someone does that for someone, that's a sacrifice because you're going to end up on diuretics too. Your body can't take it all. Sorry,
so
they're
the,
idiots. They're literally idiots.
these highly religious people think that God, the people they allegedly listen to, gave people extra organs so they can make money on a side hustle. I don't think that's in the Bible. I don't think that's
No,
true.
I'm pretty sure. And again, I will say it, and I don't give a fuck if you hear get upset. Evangelicals are not Christians; they're a cult.
Oh,
They don't believe in God; they believe in power. And anyone that will give them power and money, and they use God as an excuse to get there. Sorry, if you're true Christians, you wouldn't say and do half the shit you do,
no,
and that's the truth. And
no.
you don't like it, you know where to find me. As simple as that. But I'd like that we have to keep even Fox News and some of the press is starting to push back on Trump because they can see shit's happening. And again, South Park, oh my God, that
I
was
didn't see it.
ridiculous. Oh, dude. they they opened up with a Fox News saying is literally it's Trump fucking Satan. I am not kidding. That's what they're doing. And the thing that crossed my mind is because they bring up Melania has been shown in the White House, has been seen with Satan. And the thing I'm
Right.
thinking about it, we don't see Melania, but Laura Loomer's popped up again. So I
Yeah.
guess that's true.
Yeah.
Trump is fucking Satan. Maybe, probably. I wouldn't doubt it. But the point is, they're pushing and they're aggravating because you know he's going to react to it. Hell, Pee Wee German Nesferatu himself was going after Stephen Colbert because Stephen Colbert was going after him, called him disgusting. Dude, look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Anyone
No
that looks
shit.
like you, really, honestly, get a hairpiece or something. God, put some makeup
For
on.
I saw a meme. I mentioned this before. I saw a meme and I thought it was quite good. It had a picture of Stephen Miller, and then next to it, it had a blown up microscopic picture of a colon polyp, and
Yeah,
it
that's
looked
about
very
right.
sim. It
Yeah,
looked
they're
about
similar.
it looked pretty similar. You know, we were over the past week. Everybody was all excited about the prospect of Donald Trump dying.
Yes.
They thought he was too sick. They thought he was going to die. Then he shows up at this press conference. And I'll be honest with you, he didn't make me feel comfortable about his health, even though he showed up and talked. He was going off on tangents. He was looked very low energy. His face looked fucked up. Everything about him did not look good. And that was only that press conference was only to show proof of life
Yes.
because to announce that he was moving Space Force from Colorado to Alabama, we already knew that. It
Yeah,
wasn't
it's a dumb.
necessary to have an important meeting directly from the White House to announce this. He was trying to prove that he was alive. But what I found funny and I found interesting, Pete Ducey, the Fox News reporter, who was attempting to be funny. I know he was attempting to be funny or sarcastic, and he said, President Trump, where were you when you heard you were dead? You know, basically trying to own the libtards. Donald
Mhm.
Trump would normally go off on a tangent, rant and yell and say, this is a hoax, this is fake news, all that sort of stuff. All he did was go, yeah, I didn't hear that. That was a
Yep.
weird reaction for Donald Trump. He wouldn't normally react that way. Could that mean that there is some health issues that he's dealing with? I
I,
think so.
I think that I mean it's Halloween time. Lord knows what they pumped into him. I
Yeah,
mean, we literally could be looking at a ghoul. People that basically they're walking unalive. That's not zombie like, held up by drugs.
right.
And and the other thing too. I mean, first they were fundraising on help me get to heaven. Now they're fundraising on the newest. Did you see the newest email to the
I did not.
fundraisers? I'm alive. Send me
Send me
10
money.
bucks. Send me money. Um,
Well, that's the
there's
funny thing. Funny thing is, people send you money so you can campaign. What's he campaigning for?
it's I don't know, and these idiots keep sending him money. They keep sending him money. There is no. I mean, I don't get it. He still gets donations. There. I mean,
I
that money at this point should go to the RNC, not him. To be
You would
blunt,
think so, but
but
I got to tell you, I take a little joy in knowing there's these broke ass redneck motherfuckers taking their meth money out to send to Donald Trump until they have no money. I hope they send them all their money, and I hope they leave themselves with nothing because that's what they deserve.
and it's like we don't. It's frustrating because every day you turn on and you see the videos of ICE being ICE. People in DC walking through DC and just seeing cops everywhere because, by the way, there will be a reckoning for ICE. There's going to be a reckoning for local police departments too. You
Yeah,
guys have gotten out of control. You guys think that the federal no due process applies to you. You guys are about to find out when lawsuits start dropping in your cities. That's going to happen. Sorry, I've seen local law enforcement, especially in DC and LAPD. You're violating your own guidelines. For what? I mean, that's there's going to be a reckoning whether you like it or not. Oh, there's going to be a reckoning. And I'm going to say
the
one
day
thing
will
too.
come.
They will come. So, um, Mark Elias was with Brian Cohen, Tyler Cohen today, just before we came on, talking about one of the right wing lawyers. I forgot the name of the lady, who is one of the biggest anti election fraud people.
Yeah,
2020. She's filed suits. She is working to take apart local elections because they're not safe, or we're looking for illegal aliens, that type of bullshit. She
right.
literally got on and said that Trump will probably use emergency powers to stop the next election. And and I mean, again, he's laying it out. That's going to be a horrible thing. They did it. My point is simple. If you do that, then everyone's going to burn this motherfucker down.
Pretty
That
much.
is
I
the
mean,
last closing step.
if you want to claim that there's an emergency when there's not, that will incite an emergency. And be careful what you
Right.
ask for, because if you get that, it's going to get ugly. I'm concerned about Chicago because people in Chicago don't take shit and they don't
That's,
like Donald Trump.
I mean, they've been real quiet in DC. I get it. They don't want to push them to use weapons. But I'm getting, I don't know how much do you take before it's too much?
Well,
I
I've often said that. Where's the red line? Where's the line where it stops? And I think you and I and Eric and a bunch of other people thought that red line was farther back than what we're seeing now. We thought if we got to this point, there would be pushback and fighting and people pretty upset. But he's been able to walk through this and do whatever he wants and pretty much unencumbered. Well, there's a protest and stuff, but somebody really needs, when it comes to Donald Trump and the Trump administration, it goes back to what I've said before. They're bullies. The only way you can stop a bully is slap the taste out of his mouth and knock him on their
right.
ass. That's what has to happen.
But the biggest concern that could lead to a lot of, let's be honest, blood on the streets,
Right.
and you don't know how that's going to roll, then it may give him an excuse. If there's an incident with ICE agents, let's say in the neighborhood of Chicago, where it really gets ugly, and an ICE agent gets hurt, or like that, trust me, they will use that as an excuse to drop the military in there. They will escalate this to a point. And I think that's what JB Pritzker is trying to tell you. Try to be calm, protest them, push them out as best you can, but don't give them an excuse to literally ramp it to the next step. Because the biggest thing, again, and we discussed this before last Sunday, was that they're looking to entice the black community to come out
Yeah.
in hard protests like George Floyd, so they can use the excuse that now it's out of hand and we can do something about it. As long as the protesters still have a pale complexion, they are ill. That they're not. They don't have the stomach to do it yet.
Right.
Um, that's the thing. So there's a fine. I understand what J.B. Pritzker's saying, because if they're going to come in with ICE fine, if they show up with the National Guard, what are they going to do? What are you going to do in Chicago? I mean, the crime rate's down. They're trying to control. The city is running fine. It's just this fantasy world that they need. And Aaron Parner's saying that well, they're going to push now in all the blue cities. Of course they are. But also they said here that the governor of Louisiana said, yeah, we'll use the National Guard in New Orleans and Shreveport.
Right.
Why? Because why? Because your police force doesn't work? You're going to pay them? Fuck, you can't even pay your own employees down there in Louisiana. What the fuck? You're
But I'm
poor.
interested to see that happening though, because the red state's saying, "Yeah, bring them in. We need your help." When those people start invading Shreveport, Louisiana, and they're not getting out criminals, but they're getting out neighbors and friends and
Right,
merchants in the area, it's going to be interesting to see how a red city in a red state reacts. I mean, these are the ones that are all full of the Second Amendment and carrying any number of guns. I think that may be the first spot where we could see some violence after ICE
right.
and the National Guard start stepping on their fucking toes. I think that
I,
could be a problem.
and they, what was it? There was a Democratic, there's a gentleman who's running for governor who went after Tommy Tuberville because, again, he wants to use the National Guard to patrol the streets of Birmingham.
Yeah.
And he was saying, what good is that? Again, the southern states outside of Georgia do not bring industry to their states. They're only concerned with keeping the same southern hierarchy they've been having for decades. It doesn't work. The poor get nothing out of these states. The rich get everything. They suck them dry, and they suck from the federal government, which goes into their pockets.
Well,
That's the biggest problem.
we've heard about these states, these 23 states, these attorney generals all talking together about the prospect of a soft secession. And that doesn't mean seceding from the union, but it means stopping sending the federal government the federal income tax because they
Yeah,
need it to cover the things that the federal government are no longer covering. If that were to actually happen, that would throw this in a upheaval much quicker because that money is needed for those red states. And when they stop getting it, they're going to be some pissed off cowpokes.
yeah. And then ICE also just they're burning through cash. ICE is burning through cash. It costs $1
Yeah.
million a day for the National Guard in DC to pick up trash. They're burning through cash. And I don't know, and they keep cutting things, but where's the money going? It's
Right.
ridiculous what's going on. This government is not being run, it's literally being looted.
Pretty much.
It's
Yeah.
being
That's
looted.
pretty much true.
I mean, it's literally a mob situation where they just take stuff out of the back, you don't know where it is. Trump and his family are getting rich. His people around him are getting richer under the guise of patriotism. We're getting fucked, and people let that happen. For what?
Well,
And
and
now you're finding, go
there's
ahead, sir.
actual looting going on too. We're hearing stories of ICE going into a restaurant or
Yeah,
a store, taking out the people, and then coming back and stealing shit. I mean, this is some white trash criminal motherfuckers sitting there,
right.
and they're running roughshod through the entire country.
And that's what it is. We have all these people that are these so-called federal law enforcement are not law enforcement officers. They're
Right,
not. They're just hirees. Do you love Trump? Yeah. Do you hate everyone of color? Yeah. Here's a gun. Here's a vest. Congratulations.
right.
Welcome to the DEI. Welcome to DHS under ICE. That's what it is. And by the way, I see Latino faces in there. Oh, we will find you. We will find you. And you will pay the worst price. God almighty. That makes me sick. I've seen that. And
I
also
still,
black
for the
ICE
life of me,
agents.
don't Yeah, when I
Oh,
see when I see people of color supporting Donald Trump and ICE and all that stuff, for the life of me, I don't get it. I mean, are they just that stupid, or are they just evil and wish ill on other people as long as it's not them? I mean, ultimately, it will be them, and they're apparently not sharp enough to realize that.
well, I mean, and they're just in. They bought the Kool-Aid. So
Yeah.
it makes them feel better about themselves. I don't know. I mean, I can't get it. I never will get it. I don't understand it. All I know is that everything until January 20th this year was kind of running fine. Now it's basically, I'm watching it fall apart piece by piece by piece. And because one man's ego has to be fed, which is why everyone was going, if he passes, there's no one going to be in that car seat that they're going to
Right.
respect.
Right.
And everyone keeps saying, why are you wishing for him to die? Because I think that's our last option. I mean, where things would fall apart, chaos would happen so bad. Because here's the thing, if his name comes up, there's already a victim that said on Epstein, with the Epstein issue, that Trump wanted 12 and 13 had 12 and 13-year-old girls, a couple of them dressed up in maids in his room. Okay,
Right.
she said that in the open. So what if they find evidence of things we already know? What's going to happen? He ain't
Well,
resigning.
well,
No one's
somebody,
going
some
after him.
no, somebody said that, and I agree with this, and I've said this too, that when Donald Trump is gone, a lot of shit is going to come out, and people are going to be amazed by how ugly it is. If you don't, if you don't pull back from Donald Trump while he's alive, after he's alive, you won't have a choice because there will be so much shit coming out, whether it be Jeffrey Epstein or his criminal behavior or his corruption. Uh, Donald Trump's legacy is fucking shot. Getting to heaven should be the least of his worries.
I mean,
Basically, making everybody in his family a pariah to the point where I wouldn't be surprised if grandchildren start changing their last name like Hitler's grandchildren did or
right.
nephews did.
I mean, I don't, I mean, that's the thing. We're at every day, every week that we go further and further. It seems bad, but it also seems like we're waiting for everything to fall apart. This cannot last.
No, it
It can't
can't.
last. I mean, this chaos can't last. Somebody's going to crack, and it's going to be on their side because their incompetency is ridiculous.
Well,
And
they're
the
already
next thing,
cracking.
right,
We're seeing with the Epstein thing, they're
right.
very divided on the Republican side.
What I'm concerned about, though, in order to blunt this, they may start a war because nothing says patriotism than killing somebody else. And if you're against it, that means you're not patriotic. They can hide against it, hiding out behind it. But I don't know if mom and dad are going to want their kids dying in a Venezuelan jungle or
No,
Mexican
of course
desert
not.
to
For
support
no
Trump.
reason.
I
Right.
mean, that's what we're going to find out. That's why when you the Venezuelan thing, as we come back around again, if you think about it, it's the same things what they're doing with ICE. That's a soft target.
Yeah.
That's a target you can't shoot. ICE goes after soft targets, people that can't really fight back. They have not pressed a hard target because they're afraid to. And the same thing with the military because they know if they the last time they pressed a hard target, they look stupid. It didn't work.
Right.
The Iranian bombing was a joke. It it, it
Oh, it
it's
was.
it
It
was a
was
joke.
pointless.
And short of what are you going to do? Bomb Caracas? What are you going to do? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. Pete Hegseth is going to go down as the worst Secretary of Defense ever. Um,
Yeah.
I
His
can't.
job performance will be the least of his problems when it's all said
Yeah,
and done. I mean, he's a
and
fucking criminal. You know what the thing about Donald Trump though is he's going through some things now. He's alienated all of our allies. We know that. But even his best friends are basically flipping him off. Vladimir Putin, Kim Jong Un, and and Xi. They go have a little party and don't invite Donald Trump. And so this pisses off Donald Trump because it looks like they're marginalizing him. And he says, you know what? I think they're plotting against us. And to that, I say, no shit. These
Oh,
people have been trying to destroy America from the inside for decades. And now they have the opportunity and they don't even have to do anything. They just let Donald Trump do what he's doing. And they're laughing their fucking asses off.
and if you want to complicate it, Modi and in India um, is still pissed about the whole Pakistani and Indian thing, saying, "Hey, Trump stopped the war." Now the Pakistanis are going, "Sure, all right, we're down with it." I mean, apparently there was some kind of money exchange hands to the
Yeah.
Pakistanis to the Trump, but Modi was like, yeah, Pakistani, yeah, we'll nominate you Nobel Peace Prize. Modi's like, are you out of your fucking mind? You didn't do anything. So
Yeah.
Trump goes, yeah, 12% tariff on Indian goods. Yeah, take that. That's fine. He called China the next day. He has deals with China. Okay, Trump doesn't get it. They're not punished. They don't need us. They don't need us.
I mean, it's
You have
easier for them to work with us, but they can survive without us. We
without
can't
us.
survive without them, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, and he this whole American first isolationism, it didn't work before. It's not going to work again, especially now with
No,
the world is really fucking interconnected.
right.
So every day is just the incompetency. And that's part of me is counting on incompetence because they're
That's
not
about all
competent.
we got at this point. They're doing some crazy things. They're doing some devastating things. The one ray of light may be the incompetency because they will fuck it up every time.
And hopefully it's going to accelerate something to happen because we're stuck with them for 4 years. Whoever's in the White House is going to be a Republican. The election is going to be a big deal because we can get control. And a quick note on all the California redistricting. Yeah, I see the Republicans and some of those scumbags popping up saying that it's illegal, that, what are you going to do? Gavin Newsom is doing illegal shit, not
Yeah.
missing the point that the only reason they're doing it is because of Texas. And
Right.
I'm hearing that when Texas carved that out, if the Democratic Party gets off their ass, they can win seats there.
Yeah.
It might not be to their benefit in the end.
That would be hilarious if that were the case. But the Republicans can whine about California all they want, but now it's up to the voters. So they can whine and cry all they want. There's nothing they can really do about it. The voters are going to decide whether the state is redistricted. And I have a feeling, given what we know about it and how many people in California hate Donald Trump and hate what's going on, it should be an easy thing to pass.
It should be, but the hardest thing now where he's getting pushed back is what I refer to, and a lot of people have referred to as blue MAGA, the far left. Because the
Yeah.
far left don't like Newsom because, again, he's not perfect.
Well,
He's
this
not the
ain't about
perfect
Newsom.
candidate. Second,
This isn't about Newsom as yet. I mean,
no,
everybody's
but
talking
they're
about him
making it
running for
about Newsom.
president.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
making it about Newsom. He's not the best person. Scanner, look what he's done in the past. You know what, guys? We're not even talking about presidential campaigns. Okay,
no.
we're talking about a man who's decided that the state of California ain't taking his shit. Okay, but you're concentrating on that because you're so far up Trump's other ass side, the left side, that you don't see the forest for the trees. I'm sorry.
Well,
You
well, I
guys
would.
talk like a MAGA with progressive ideas.
Yeah,
Same thing.
the whole thing about having a two-party system. I don't even believe we have a two-party system. Both parties are so have so many problems, and they're weak because they're divided. We got the Republicans divided, the MAGA and the Independents and all that, and the Democrats are the same thing. We have the normal left people and the progressive left people who sat out and didn't vote
Right.
in the 2024 election. All I have to say to them is, look, take a look around, see what's going on now, because it's your fault. You're the ones that put us here. Donald Trump got no more votes in 2024 than he did in 2020. Same amount of votes. Kamala got about 8 million votes less than Joe Biden got in 2020. So it's on the Democrats. They fucked up. And over and above that, not only did you fail this country and put us in turmoil, but also those 50 or 60,000 Palestinians that died, that blood's on your hands.
Yeah.
You're responsible.
And Israel's still pressing it even more. And
Don't you think
again,
Israel is losing some ground, though, as far as credibility and how
yeah,
people feel about them? I mean, it's always been
Netanyahu doesn't
sacrosanct.
care.
Oh, they're Israel. Jesus grew up there. But it's really not that because, Israel, a state,
If
is not the same Israel from the Bible. And what they're doing is genocide. So if
right,
you side with that, if you don't side with that, then they want to say you're anti-Semitic, but that's not the fucking case. I've
no,
always said I don't care if you're black or what color or what religion. If you're an asshole, if you're hurting people, I don't cut you any slack because you happen to live in a certain part of the world or a certain part or a certain religion. If you're a fucking despot and if you're a dictator and you're killing people, you're a piece of shit and you need to go regardless of what your
and that's
religion
the
is.
thing. Israel isn't about Israel; it's about Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Period. Netanyahu and Hamas. Those are the two things that made it. But Netanyahu has made it worse, as Hamas
No, of
wanted
course.
him to. But I don't. They don't think that he would have gone genocide because he is. And I mean, there are reports that they want to turn the Gaza Strip over to the United States so we can build beachfront property. That's insane, crazy, but within the realm of possibility for the partnership between Netanyahu and Trump. It's
Well, the
insane.
thing is, if I'm in construction, I don't want to go to the Gaza Strip and try to build something. That's a very volatile area. There's going to be bombings. There's going to be um, um,
Yeah,
suicide bombers. There's going to be booby traps. It's not going to be a safe place for anybody to build, let alone live in, if they do what they intend to do.
I mean, it's in the end, we are in just interesting times. Every day is interesting times, and people are suffering for said interesting times. But again, I don't know how long they can keep this up because it feels like they're just hanging on tiger to his tail because the states are starting to combine together. States are starting to go, no, you can't do this here. And that's where it's going to get interesting. How far will states fight back? Because Trump has divided us between those who support him and those who don't.
Oh, no
If you're
question.
not
And
with
we're
me, you're against me, which is not the way America should be.
we're getting
Uh,
toward the end here, and I just want to bring something up because it's a part and parcel to Democrats getting the rug pulled out from under them and getting hoodwinked again by Republicans. You're on TikTok, I'm on TikTok, and it just frustrates me every time I see this. We got this big conversation about this. Taylor Lorenz came out with a story how some left-sided uh, creators were getting money from some dark money place and all that. And I don't even know if that's true. I don't even care. But this Taylor Lorenz, she has some problems herself. She
mhm.
doesn't have the best track record. But what frustrates me is I sit on TikTok. Taylor Lorenz can write what she wants and everybody can whine about it. But now I sit and watch TikTok and some other social media, and we've got creators who, for all intents and purposes, and I say this about myself, they don't matter. These creators that have 1 million followers or half a million
Mhm.
followers or 2 million followers, they're fighting amongst themselves and they spend minutes and minutes and minutes talking about this shit. Do they not understand they are falling right into the trap? They're so
Mhm.
busy with their own egos talking and fighting amongst themselves. They're not talking about the important things that we have going on here. And there are some creators like Hawk is one of them. I'm going, fuck you. You're not helping the matter. I don't
No,
care which side you're on, what you agree with. This isn't important right now. What's important is what's truly going on. And then when you waste this much time and your egos are so big that you think we care if your feelings are hurt or if you're mad at this person, shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about you. You're not important.
They want to eat their own, and they want to feel like, from what I understand, it was a company that helped small creators get big. They didn't tell
Oh,
them what to write or not. Taylor Lorenz is a failed journalist. Those are the facts. There,
right.
she was looking for a hit piece. She got it.
Yeah.
Um, Again, what Hawk doesn't mention is that the Russian intelligence was giving money to right wing influencers and telling them what to write. That's a big difference. But hey, I don't give a fuck because, like you said, I mean, I've got the 350 followers. At one point, I was at 5,000 before they pulled the plug, but I don't care because the point
No.
is that this is a non-issue, but it's something that far lefters like because they want to feel I didn't take money. I am above all you. You must listen because the Democrats are just as bad as the Republicans. When you think like that, you're dead to me because I
Yeah.
know you care about no one but yourself because you feel safe.
Well, here's what you have to understand too. When you see these people talking about Taylor Lorenz and fighting amongst themselves, you have to understand why they're doing that. For views, for money, for
Right.
themselves. These people take money from TikTok. Where's that money from TikTok coming from? I don't know. I don't fucking care. All I know is that because I talk about liberal issues, I'm getting paid less and less from TikTok every month
Right.
because I talk about that shit. That to me is more important than somebody getting some help or money. I don't
And I
really
got
care about that.
I got a notice on my TikTok account going September 13th. Community guidelines are changing. Really? Okay, let's play. Because I can't. I mean, I know what my exposure is. If I get 100 views now, great. Majority is what 56. I don't give a shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Because in the end, it is what it is. I mean, do I want to say something? If I do, I'm going to say, Mike, I got to put this on a little further because I think this is important for us to touch on. That's
Right.
fine. I got an
Right.
outlet. I appreciate it. But the point is, like, they, you, these community guidelines are designed to suppress truth. People don't like the truth.
Yeah.
Don't like it because they let them lie all the time. There are people with thousands of followers on TikTok who just fucking lie.
Well, and the thing about it,
Provable lies.
is that when they change these guidelines on September 13th, if in fact they do that, and it sounds like they will, um, I'm presuming that at some point I will get kicked off
Right.
because as much as they want to bend a knee to Donald Trump or any of the other mainstream wants to bend a knee to Donald Trump, I refuse. I literally can't. I can't spend 5 years talking the way I have and then say, well, I'll just stay off of that stuff because then that blows my credibility. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing as long as they let me do it. If they kick me off, I'll just keep doing it on YouTube and Spotify and Substack and fuck
And
everything else.
yeah, and here's the thing: independent media is important. And before we came on, and it just hit me because we're talking about this. CBS News is dead.
Yeah,
It got murdered by Paramount Plus and what they did
right.
to 60 Minutes. But apparently, there is a big account on Substack, and I want to find it here because this is the email from him. Bear with me 1 second. It is called. Um, it's run by someone called Barry Weiss. It's a startup called Free Press. It's
Right,
supposed to
right.
be this
Yeah.
huge independent um, thing in on Substack where people can go without worrying about influences.
Right.
She's selling the motherfucking company to Paramount for $200 million motherfucking dollars.
Yep.
$200 million to the point that CBS reporters are resigning because they know what this is going to be. She's going to be in charge of CBS News
Right.
through this. And they're not happy at all. One guy just resigned, said good night and bad luck. Basically opposite what Edward R. Murrow used to say.
Right.
So the biggest problem we have with news that we're always going to have is that ever since it became a for-profit business, you can't trust it. As
Absolutely.
soon
You
as
can't trust you can't trust mainstream media. And I just want people to understand, just because it's independent media doesn't mean you can trust it. You've got to
no,
look at the fruits they bear. You've got to look at their track record. You've got to check into what they're saying. I don't take anything face at face value. Anything I see online or something, I check it out to make sure I'm not talking some bullshit or adding to whatever they're trying to pull.
and
So
let's
when you're out on independent media, be careful because they're not all
right,
good.
and also understand you can tell bullshit when you hear bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean it just kind of rings. We've been around too long to go, that just doesn't. Nah. Now I've been surprised when I go, that doesn't sound right. Oh Jesus Christ, that is right. I mean, there was someone put up John Kennedy, the senator from Louisiana, was talking
Yeah.
about the radioactive shrimp, and he put up a picture of Alien with the monster that pops out of John Hurt's chest in the movie, saying this is what's going to happen when you eat the shrimp. I thought that was a joke. No, he did that in a hearing.
Yep.
I mean,
He's he is a
what the
joke.
fuck? I mean, what? And why is the radio? Oh, maybe because we cut all the agricultural food inspections. How about you talk about that, John? Not put up a picture of an alien monster. Yeah, I saw the movie. It was good. It's scary as fuck, and I remember that scene. But dear God, you did this in the Senate hearing about radioactive shrimp.
Well, here's the thing. Somebody like John Kennedy, he's a phony because he'll come out here and talk like a country lawyer with the drawl and all that stuff and try to be clever and do all that stuff. You think, well, he went to some Southern school and he became a motherfucker's a Rhodes Scholar.
Yes.
He's educated. He
Yeah.
knows better. So if you trust him, he's just fucking playing you. He's
And he
playing
is not
everybody.
Leghorn, guys. Sorry. So, but I see that's the thing. You're right. We see weird shit all the time, and these community guidelines. And I know YouTube is going to do some weird shit too. I heard about verifications or something. Um, this is all about money
Yeah.
and making money and keep money making. And the literal amount of money I made from TikTok literally has been $10, and that's it. And I
Yeah.
don't care. And I put these things out because I want to be part of the there's a
The solution.
there's so yeah, but there's an old saying that if you have enough people doing something, it pushes society a certain way. If everyone pushes, there's just enough of us push it. Someone in the comments will bring it up. Will probably bring it up because they're really smart down there. They'll push it forward, and I want to be part of that. And also, occasionally, I want to go. These people are out of their goddamn minds because they have to be said. These people are out of their goddamn minds because every day we see this bullshit, and every day we get people putting it out there, and either people are going to get mad or people are going to go, what are we going to do
Yeah.
about it? Or they
Yeah.
go, well, we're doomed. Okay, so I again, I will say this: are there days where I say, I hope, honestly, the end of humanity would not bother me? Sure, I'm cool. There are days like that. Everyone has it, but I'd rather be pissed off than morose and give up.
Right.
I'd rather
Well,
be pissed off. I think that means action more than anything else.
I
That
think
that
you'll agree with this. The whole idea of fuck it, let it burn, and I had a good run and everything. If I go now, I'm fine, and if the world implodes, I'm fine because I'm 65 and no big deal. But what weighs on my mind is my kids and my
Right.
grandkids. I'm going to be long gone and they're going to have to live their lives. And I just have this thing in me that says, you got to do everything you can to make sure they don't get
To leave
fucked.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, because we were moving in the right way. Things were
Yeah.
looking up. But this is, I don't know what it is. People just lost their goddamn minds. And they think it's a good thing. It's a good thing to be angry, hate, and all that. Yeah, the only problem with that, it burns. And it burns you out.
Yeah.
And eventually you're going to get burned out because you're going to lose what it gives you. And
Right.
it gives you nothing. I mean,
No.
people, I was making a comment the other day is that people wonder why do you get upset about stuff? Why do you get angry? I go, why do you just go with the flow? Because when I get mad at someone, because empathy, because it doesn't make sense and it's wrong. The people on the right just love to be mad because they're mad all the time.
Yeah.
They're mad all the time. They're mad about anything. They're mad about movies. They're mad about food. They're mad about, colors. They they waste their energy on stuff because that's all they got. They don't believe
People,
anything. They don't love anything. They
people
just
will say,
love being
people will say that to me is why do you get angry about it? And I said, well, think about this. If you've got a group of people that are going to hurt your family, hurt your kids, hurt your grandkids, hurt innocent people, hurt this country, make life more difficult for them, what else would you be? If you're not angry about that, there's something fucking wrong. And more importantly than that, what else do we have left? Being
right.
decent, trying to do the right thing didn't work. So maybe it's time to get angry and do what the fuck we need to do. I'm sorry if it's distasteful to you, but I'm not, put it this way. I have a rule of thumb. I'll treat you exactly how you treat me. If you're a
Right.
nice guy, I'll be a nice guy. I'm a good
Right.
guy. But if you're a fucker to me, I'll be a bigger fucker if I have that opportunity.
And people say, well, that's not very Christ-like. Christ did go into the temple once and toss tables,
Yeah, yeah.
angry for what they were doing in the church or in the synagogue. Okay, it's well-placed anger, and don't buy that turn the other cheek bullshit. No,
Not
no,
anymore.
no, not anymore. You can let shit slide, but we can't let shit slide anymore.
Well,
And the
here's the
people
deal.
who are on the streets pushing back, who are yelling at ICE, I admire them because that's dangerous. Because some of these people are not right in the fucking head. You
Now,
can see it, and they're
well, the
wanting
thing,
to. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
the thing is that be Christ-like and turn the other cheek. What happens to bad people when they die? If you go by the Bible and this is your belief, doesn't God throw you in fucking hell? That sounds like retribution. That sounds like accountability. Um, there is a point when people need to be accountable for what they've done, and there has to be some punishment. And don't tell me that you're not being very Christian. Fucking Christians are some of the most violent people in history.
Ah, amen. In the name of
And I'm a
Christ.
Christian, and I
No,
consider myself a Christian, and so do you.
that's fact. That's fact. Those are facts. Each religion has done it. Sorry, truth. Justified, mass murder in the name of the religion. They're
There's
all going to
there's
pay for it.
there's probably more people in history that have died because of religion than any
Mhm.
other kind of war or anything like that. More people have died because of the fight between religions. And is that Christ-like? No, it's not. So
And that goes.
don't give me this fucking religious talk because
No,
I don't want to hear it.
it's all practical now. And the same thing is like with politics. If you do not support the ass whipping that Gavin Newsom's giving out to Trump, if you're one of those people who are looking for bipartisanship, get the fuck out of the way and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you could be somebody who hates Donald Trump, but if you don't support what Gavin Newsom is doing,
No,
you shouldn't be listening to me because what he's doing is what I've said we need to do for the last four
right.
years. So I'm all for it. It may seem petty, it may seem distasteful, but it's what we have to do to take care of this situation.
Okay. And the thing about it is, after you win, again, if I hear one far lefters again saying, well, we should be talking about policy. Why? We can't set policy until you win the war. Once you win the war, then you can set policy. You can set the rules. That's the thing you have to understand what's going on with the Trump regime. They won the war and they're setting policy. They
Right.
can do it
Well,
because they're the winners. Now we have to change that.
well, and
Facts.
understand it. In the 2024 election, we talked about policy. They didn't. They won. Learn a fucking lesson.
Right.
It's sad that that's the way it is, but it
Right.
is the way it is. Will, I'm going to wrap up the Rational Boomer podcast. We're at that point. I want to thank you for taking the time
Appreciate
to
you
sit
letting
with
me
me
talk.
here today. It's very
Right.
cathartic for me. Get some stuff off my chest, get some stuff off your chest. You may have saved us both a heart attack by being able to spew this
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah, exactly. And again, you guys can find me at Kumquat6 on TikTok. I'm on YouTube at Binder38US at YouTube. Substack to an extent. I should do a Substack live. Those are
Yeah,
easy to do.
well, if you wanted, at some point I was trying to do one. Who was I trying to do that with? It wasn't you, was it?
No, not
I needed to do something. I was going to do a Substack live. Oh, I know. I was having a problem with the Zoom, and I was going
right.
to do it with Jace, and it didn't work out. He wasn't familiar with Substack, so the whole
Right.
thing was a fucking mess. Maybe you and I can do a Substack. Those people out there
Well,
are great people, and
right. And they
I
don't
love
give.
talking to them.
They don't flip out on that. But again, for everyone every day, it's the more they do, the more you know you're getting to them. And with
Yeah,
Halloween coming up, I'm working on a list of what horror characters the cabinet is, because we already know Stephen Miller is Nosferatu. I haven't
yeah.
figured out Trump or anyone because I haven't figured out the undead other than a zombie. So we have to work on that. But just something fun like that because that helps you. Because honestly, look at JD Vance. Know what I see? I see a witch, an
Yeah,
evil witch. That guy has more eyeliner than most witches I've ever seen.
yeah,
Good
no
Lord
kidding.
Almighty. Oh,
And
man,
for you folks, just know this: if you ain't fighting, you ain't shit. So,
exactly.
you just do whatever you can. You don't have to take the whole world on your shoulders if it means just speaking out now and again or helping people or whatever. If you ain't fighting, you ain't shit. And that's what we got to continue to do. So, Eric, I had Eric yesterday.
Yeah,
I'm old and I'm
like
losing it.
hell.
And I admit it. Will, thank you very much for
Thank
showing up today. I appreciate it immensely. Those of you listening, I thank you for taking the time to do that. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.